Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Buy Podcast. We are your host Nikita and
Sai, and today we'll be talking about fun facts since it's a really stressful time for a lot of people since finals and just something to cheer you all and ourselves.
yeah, and we would also like to give credit to the website Best because that was our source. So I think we can just get started.
Yep, so the first fact we're going to talk about right now is the moon has moonquakes. We heard about earthquakes, but we have, it's also proven that the moon also has earthquakes, so it becomes moonquakes. Fun.
Yeah. Now the second one is goosebumps are meant to ward off predators. Why do we get goosebumps? In this physiological reaction, small muscles attached to the individual body hairs contracts, which leads the hair to stand up on end. And this we actually inherited this ability from our ancestors because in the past when ancestors were when they were getting scared of predators like big animals and stuff, they had a lot of body hair, so when they got scared, these goosebumps when their hair would stand up and it would make them look bigger, so the predators would go away and it would help them be defensive. So now that we have like less body hair and everything, goosebumps no longer make us look that intimidating, but yeah, it was really helpful to our ancestors.
Yep. So the third fact, it's apparently that only humans can blush, are the only animals that can blush, and then we're believed to be the only animals that can feel embarrassment and a complicated emotion that requires other people to understand, our opinions and factors. So apparently, the only animals that need blushing is also us. So yeah.
Yeah. The next one. I know we've all gotten, lost inside a mall. It's actually known as grow and transfer. So, you know how casinos are designed to deliberately disorient visitors, causing them to lose track of time and where exactly they are. But there's a similar strategy behind the design of shopping malls because it's known as a grow and transfer. And this phenomenon was named after Austrian architect Victor Gruen, who identified how an intentionally confusing layout could lead to consumers spending more time and money in a shopping venue. That is like when you go to a shop, for example, you think it looks kind of similar everywhere, so you kind of lose track of time, and then you also you lose your way around places, so you try to locate your way out, and on the way you see many shops that you want to visit, so you go there. So yeah, that was a really fun fact that I just came to know about.
Yep. So the fifth fact we're going to talk about is you lose up to 30% of your taste buds during a flight. This is like one of the reasons why we feel like airplane food is horrible, because 30% of our taste buds like during a flight is just not there, and then that's why. So this is the reason, while we elevate, we have a determinal effect on our ability to taste things. So yeah.
Yeah, the next one is the M&Ms. The M's in M&Ms stands for Mars and Murray. This was because Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray, the two businessmen who created these candy-coated chocolates, they two actually had a very contentious relationship as Mars leveraged Murray out of his 20% share in the company in 1949, years before M&M's would become the best-selling candy in the US, paying him just $1 million for a share of business that would quickly be worth billions. So that's the reason why, at first I didn't know what M&M's meant, but now we know that it stands for Mars and Murray.
Yeah, so the eighth fact is cotton candy was invented by a dentist. Like we all know that, like, cotton candies are like for sweet tooths and stuff like that. So why would you even expect a dentist to be making cotton candy? It was, yeah, yep. So it was fun.
Yeah. Next up, the human body literally glows. It might be hard to see with your naked eye, but everyone you pass by is literally glowing. The human body emits a small quantity of visible light, and researchers in Japan used a special camera to track this glow and found that it fluctuates through the day, with the body emitting its lowest levels of light around 10 a.m. and highest around 4 p.m. A rhythm the scientists attributes to the changes in one's metabolism.
Yeah. So the next thing we'll do is the English word with the most definitions is set, according to the Guinness World Records, set as the largest number of meanings of any word in the English language, with 430 different senses listed in 1989 edition of the second edition of the Oxford English Dictionary. The word set records an entire entry running 60,000 words or 326 thousand characters, and no English other word has ever come, this much words and stuff.
Yeah, so the next one, I've actually heard this fact. It's that chewing gum boosts concentration. So next time you're having trouble, focusing on what you're studying or something, you just want to reach for a stick of gum and just eat it. Because a 2013 study in the British Journal of Psychology found that those subjects who chewed gum while taking part in a memory challenge were able to stay focused for a longer period of time as compared to those who did not chew gum. So that's like a really cool fact.
Yep. So the 11th fact, the next fact, unicorn is the national animal of Scotland. Though we like think about unicorn as just like a imaginary animal, in Scotland they believe that it was an important a part of their history, the country's history back in the 12th century. So yeah, it's supposed to be a proud beast in the area, which cost a lot during that time. Honestly.
Next up, Pringles aren't actually potato chips. Now, this might be really surprising. So, next time you see a can of Pringles, just take a closer look and you will not see the word chips anywhere on the package. That's because Pringles aren't made of thinly sliced potatoes, but instead dehydrated potato flakes pressed into their signature parabolic shape. That's what makes them less greasy. It's not exactly like fried or something. But when potato chip manufacturers complained, the Food and Drug Administration ruled that Pringles couldn't be marketed as chips. So, the company eventually settled on potato crisp.
Yeah. So the next fact, showers really do spark creativity. Showers are just not for your good hygiene and stuff, but also good for your creativity. A study like in 2012 published, it gave like volunteers like creativity stuff like that, and then yeah, they were allowed to do simple tasks to just wander and showers and stuff like that, and then that time just during those simple tasks during the resting time, they were most likely to solve original creativity problems.
Yes. Next up, water makes different pouring sounds depending on its temperature. Now, if we listen very closely, we can understand that the hot water and cold water sound different when they're being poured. The heat changes the thickness or viscosity of the water, changes the pitch of the sound it makes when it's produced. So, what we feel as heat comes from the molecules of water moving faster. So, cold water is thicker, so it makes a higher pitch sound. That's why, I've experienced this water sounding different, but I never thought this much about it. But now it's really cool. Yeah.
Yep. Also, koalas have fingerprints. Yeah. So chimpanzees and gorillas have like finger-like fingerprints, and so do koalas apparently. In fact, koala prints are very similar to human fingerprints. So even an expert in a crime scene investigation, will find it similar. As so, no koalas have framed humans for their crimes, but now it's not impossible.
Yeah. Next up, nutmeg can be fatally poisonous. Now, I know we've all had a little bit of nutmeg in a pumpkin pie or eggnog, just to give it an extra flavor or lovely spicy scent. Or, like, for me personally, when you get like stomach aches and stuff, you get these nutmeg with honey, something, something. And like apparently that reduces your stomach pain. But too much nutmeg can be toxic. 2 to 3 teaspoons of raw nutmeg can induce hallucinations, convulsions, pain, nausea, and paranoia that can last for even several days. But actually, fatalities are rare, but they have happened, so just be careful while you're eating nutmeg.
Yep. So next, the Comic Sans font comes from an actual comic book. Like all of us have heard about Comic Sans, like the thing, but then why would you think that it would come from a comic book? So it was apparently designed by Vincent Condry, who drew direct inspiration from his favorite comic book. So yeah.
Next up, some planets produce diamond rings. So we know that Saturn and Jupiter are like gas giant planets, and they produce a truly unique form of weather. And recently, scientists discovered there's plenty of carbon in their atmospheres. So when carbon soot gets hit by lightning, it hardens into graphite and falls downwards. When the pressure of the atmosphere hardens it further, until it becomes a diamond. Storms on these planets may literally rain diamonds as big as a centimeter across. So like that's really cool.
Yeah. So you can sneeze faster than a cheetah can run. Cheetah is the fastest, one of the fastest animals. So, yep. So, we can sneeze faster than a cheetah and 4.5 times faster than Usain Bolt's record.
Yeah, that's nice. Now Pluto technically isn't even a year old, so we can just say that like we're older than Pluto because Pluto was discovered on February 18th, 1930. It's a dwarf planet, so it's like the farthest away from the sun, so it has to go a lot more distance than we are used to on Earth. So it takes around 248 Earth years for Pluto to complete one rotation of its own around the sun. This makes that Pluto's first birthday since its discovery on Monday, March 23rd, since its discovery, which the next birthday, first birthday, will be on Monday, March 23rd, to 2178. That's a long way ahead. So that is pretty much it for this week's episode.
Tune in next Saturday for the part 2 of this episode.
Join us and let's vibe.